As we celebrate India's 77th Independence Day, it is an opportune time to reflect on the impressive journey of our pharmaceutical sector, one of the country's shining success stories. The sector's ability to deliver quality, affordable medicines has significantly contributed to India's fiscal development and earned it the global title of the pharmacy of the world. Yet, the journey is far from complete. Challenges remain, and the path to future success involves addressing several key areas. And today we have Mr. Sudarshan Jain, the Secretary General, Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance. Thanks a lot, Mr. Jain, for joining in. And we would be talking about the journey itself of the Indian pharmaceutical sector and also touch upon the challenges and how we are going to overcome those. Mr. Jain, my first question is, how did the enactment of the Drug and Cosmetics Act and the pharmaceutical policy contributed to India's journey towards self-sufficiency in pharmaceuticals? And how does this act evolve over the years, including the amendments in 1945 and 2016? So what further changes are needed to align the act with current trends and challenges of the pharmaceutical industry? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Prathiba, for this question. And as you rightly said, Indian pharma industry is not only asset to India, but to the world. It has played a very important role to shape the global healthcare outcomes by providing quality, affordable medicine. The Drug and Cosmetic Act has been fundamental for this industry. It provides a comprehensive framework for manufacture, import, and distribution of the drugs. This act is getting constantly revived, and we are also looking at the act, how it can help the industry to play a more vital role going forward. So the current act is providing a framework for the quality medicine. It is providing a framework, how does the federal healthcare structure works, both at the central level, at the state level. Yes, there are issues, but it is trying to address the issue. And the fundamental issue which we are taking care is, how do we make sure that it maintains the importance of the federal structure, and at the same time we are able to provide quality, affordable medicine, not only to the patient in India but globally.
Okay, so what have been the key watershed moments in the evolution of the pharmaceutical sector in India? If you can just let us know the pivotal events that shaped the industry's growth and global standing. Specifically, in 1970, we had Patents Act, then the NPPA came in 1980s, and the introduction of TRIPS in 90s. So if you can just take us through the journey itself, like what were the key moments and how, and what do you think would be the next 2 or 3 things which is going to come up, which is going to be remarkable for the Indian pharmaceutical sector?
So the key important areas, Prathiba, for the pharma industry is, one is 1970 Patent Act, and that was primarily process patent, not product patents. So it helped the industry to develop its analytical capabilities and chemistry capability. And we were able to provide the affordable medicines around the world because we were working on the process improvement capability. And we were able to come out with products like, say, in 1980s, we used to import everything from the world. 80% was multinational companies, 20% were Indian companies. But now the situation has reversed based on the process capability which we have built up. We have been able to market the products which are affordable, which are quality-driven. So that was an important moment as far as the Indian industry is concerned. In 1978, the drug policy came in, which also promoted self-reliance. Every company at that time, it gave the direction to the India drug policy, where companies were asked to make the products in India, because that was the important dimension. Even APIs have to be made locally at that particular moment. In 1984, which was a very important year, Hutch-Waxman Act came in. It allowed that there has to be exclusivity of 6 months, which have to be granted when the patent expired. And so India played a very important role. India has been able to market the drugs exclusivity during that 6 months, and they get the advantage of exclusivity. And then you can market those products and capitalize on the investment what you are doing as far as the pharma industry is concerned. So Hatch-Waxman Act was a very, very important act. 1991 was the economic liberalization of the country, which unleashed the power of this industry. And if you see, that was the starting point of India uh, creating global manufacturing facility. It was the power of unleashing the entrepreneur energy of this country. 2005 was the Patent Amendment Act, when we became the signatory not only for process patent but also product patent. And if I look back and I will classify the development of the Indian industry is 1970 was the pre-liberalization area where we used to import everything in the world. We were importing food, we were importing medicine, and I fail to recognize that if that situation would have happened, what would have happened during the COVID time when we are dependent on everything to the world. 1970 to 2005 was the period of process patents in this country. During that time, we built our capability of working on the processes because there was only product patent, there was no process patent in this country. It led to the developments of the Indian industry during that period. So 1970 to 2005, Hatch-Waxman as well as process patents contributed to the growth of the industry. 2005 to 2020, we started going globally. You saw many of the companies went into all developed markets of the world. And today we are proud to say that every third tablet in the US is sold from India, every fourth tablet in Europe is sold from India, and we contribute 20% of global supplies of medicine. After 2020, now is the time we should not only make in India, but we should also make and discover in India. So that is a very important phase now that we should move from make in India to make and discover in India. We should not only get the drugs from foreign countries, we should also start developing the drug which meet the unmet needs at the marketplace.
I would like to ask about the pharmaceutical sector in India has grown into a multi-billion dollar industry. We all know that, becoming the world's largest supplier of generic drug by volume. Increasing investment in R&D has led to advancement in drug development and production. In various ways, we are like having a good, development. Despite these achievements, India remains dependent on China for active pharmaceutical ingredients. And what factors contribute to this continued reliance, and what steps should be taken to reduce this dependency? This has been there for some years. We are seeing in various forums is being discussed, but what are the concrete solutions is what we have to, like we are looking forward from you.
Thank you very much. It is so important a question that although we supply formulations around the world, but we depend on API supply 70% to China. What has happened till 1980? We used to make all these APIs in India, but Chinese government started giving a lot of benefits to the local manufacturer. The interest rate in China was very low, 3 to 4% compared to 14% at that time in India. Power cost 4 cents. It all for power cost 4 cents per unit. Land cost, they wanted to give it at much economical level. So what happened? The industry which was there in India got shifted to China because they were able to supply API at a very low price. Even Europe, many of the companies which were making APIs in Europe, they shut down. So as a consequence to that, 70% supply is dependent on China. The question is, like for food is as important for us, it is a question of healthcare security. If we don't get API like vitamins and antibiotics, it impacts the total outcome and lives of the people. And hence, the issue is important. Healthcare security is very important for everyone. So the government realized that, and during COVID time, they announced PLI scheme. That was the first step which was taken by the Indian government. So 41 APIs were identified, and PLI scheme has been given, which included penicillins, which included some of the cardiovascular products, which included some of the vitamins. Now we have given that scheme. So, and then we also came out with bulk drug parks. So if you create clusters for the APIs and you get faster clearance, so you give economical rent, you give economical electricity, you give also a scheme for encouraging investments as far as APIs are concerned. But still, it is a journey which we have started. We have to go forward, and we don't have to look only for APIs. We also have to look for key starting materials. We have to look for solvents, because the total value chain is very important. It is not only API and formulation. And government is seized of that. Every stakeholder in the pharma industry is seized of that, and we will work together to take this agenda forward.
Any feasible measures like in the pipeline for the same, sir, for the APIs, as you're saying that you're working together with the government? Any key strategies has been worked out?
So let's say we will start seeing the impact. Penicillin, already Arvindo Pharma is coming out with the form penicillin production, which is a very, very big thing. Losartan, many of the companies have come in. Vitamins, many of the companies have come in. But what will happen once we come with our production? China is likely to reduce the price, and predatory pricing will happen. So we have to be resilient, and we have to see how the situation develops. Then perhaps we have to examine that, because they have built the capacity, which are world class. They have got the advantage of first mover advantage in that space. So we have to watch the outcome and take necessary action to take this whole agenda forward.
While India is proud of being the third largest manufacturer of pharmaceutical products by volume globally, the focus do you think that it should shift from imitation to more innovation? How can India move up the value chain from cost arbitrage to intellectual arbitrage, leveraging innovation as a platform? What steps are needed to foster an ecosystem with strong intellectual property protection? We have skilled talent pool, but what kind of policy initiatives as to come in so we incentivize innovation as well as the IPs, intellectual property protection? So what is your take on it?
Prathiba, I will say that we have a good IP protection system in the country, because we follow TRIPS Act, which is a very good balance of innovation access. And there are dimensions in our TRIPS Act which provides encouragement to the innovation and also allows that the access take place. The critical thing is, up till now, the capability was not there. So we are building the capabilities of patent examiners. We are building the capability of additional capability building as far as patent is concerned. And I hope that is being taken care of. The judiciary has been very, very balanced as far as intellectual property is concerned. And we have been able to identify the good balance between innovation and access. The point which you are making, we are third largest in volume and we are 14th largest in value. So although we are very good in volume production, we have not been able to come out with new products which have to meet unmet need. And the critical task for us now is we have to upgrade our capability, because all these Indian scientists, they do the development work, they develop the product abroad in US. Why can't they come to India and develop the product? And IPA has found out areas and they are working with the government what is important to get innovation going in. And the first part is regulatory simplification. It takes relatively more time to get the regulatory approvals in India compared to US and other parts of the world, because they have laid down the process very, very clearly. So that is regulatory simplification is very important part. Second is funding part. Uh, Drug development is a high risk business. It is long term, and it costs say around $2 billion to develop a product. Now, any company which is generic company cannot invest that kind of money with a lot of risk. So if you see all over the world, innovation is encouraged by the government. So that is very, very funding is given by them. So whatever good ideas are there, can there be mechanism of encouraging innovation through funding? That's the second part. Third is industry academic collaboration is very important, because unless industry and academics work together, you will not be able to come out with innovation. Classic example have been during COVID time, vaccines were developed in collaboration with Oxford and other educational institutions. So we have to work out a mechanism by which we encourage industry academic collaboration. And fourth is innovation cluster. We have to create an environment of innovation, like say Boston. There are different institutions which create innovation. Singapore, working on creating innovation. San Francisco. So how do we create clusters in India where there are academic institutions, where there are industries, where there is a total ecosystem of faster approvals and getting the innovation going in. So all this will help. And as you rightly said, innovation is the major priority to take the industry to the next level.
Very true, sir. Sir, now going on about the domestic sales revenue, with most domestic sales revenue coming from the top 150 companies out of over 9,000 pharmaceutical manufacturers in India. And do you think industry collaboration is necessary to meet the global quality compliance standards, given the increasingly sophisticated and expensive manufacturing infrastructure which is required?
If you see, we have got around 10,000 companies. Manufacturing operations, 10,000 manufacturing operations. Now, these manufacturing operations, they also manufacture for these, some of them manufacture also for these top 150 companies. So 150 companies are in terms of sales, but supply and manufacturing also take place by the other companies, which some of them are only contract manufacturers. And some of these companies which are there, they supply only to the regional market. The sale take place into regional market. Now, it is important, healthcare industry is a knowledge-driven industry. Healthcare industry is also a quality industry. Healthcare industry deals with the health of the people. And hence, some of the fundamentals are very important for this industry. First is there has to be good manufacturing practices, and quality is fundamental. So we have to strengthen our laws, and we have to strengthen the implementation of laws. Second is good distribution practices are important. Although the product is manufactured, but unless it is stored rightly, it will not serve the purpose. So the storage conditions, the transportation conditions, last mile connectivity is important. Counterfeit, spurious drugs should be avoided. And the third part is good marketing practices. So good manufacturing practices, good distribution practices, good marketing practices are the right kind of ingredients for the success of this industry.
So, what do you think should be the future direction of the pharmaceutical, industries in terms of, we had touched upon the innovation in terms of embracing innovation and capitalizing on the growing biosimilar market, because there is a lot of potential in it. So how can investing in R&D, adopting advanced technology, and fostering strategic partnership will help the industry to deliver cutting-edge therapies and while ensuring affordable and accessible healthcare solutions worldwide?
And thank you very much for this question. Like say, there is a definite change in the disease profile in the world. Previously, acute care diseases were very common. Now there is a growing incidence of chronic care diseases. There is growing incidence of degenerative diseases. So we are moving forward from acute care to chronic care to degenerative diseases and old age diseases. The age profile is going up in this country. So at the time of independence, it was less than 40 years. Now it is 72, 73 years old. It will go up to, say, around 80 years. And then these degenerative diseases will become very, very common, like arthritis, obesity, spinal problems, memory disorders. Now, the solution for them, many of the solutions will be the biological. In the biological space, it is estimated that this market will move up from 33 billion to 122 billion by 2031. And it is a big opportunity going forward. Biosimilars law are also undergoing a fundamental change in this country and throughout the world. Like interchangeability will be allowed, reduced animal testing will take place. So there are a lot of developments which are taking place as far as biologicals are concerned. And India should occupy a place of pride in this particular place. Although we have got around 128 biosimilars approved in India, however, we have to move with much faster speed. And not only biosimilars development, we should also provide a way to improve access of biosimilars, because it is not only coming out with biosimilar product. What does generic industry does, or what does biosimilar industry will do? From innovation to access, we have to play an important role. How do we make biosimilars accessible, not only through price, but education, awareness, and the faster way to get biosimilars to a common man in an affordable form. So future is, yes, small molecules are important, but there will be also greater importance for biosimilars, for CAR T cell therapy, and India can play a very important role going forward in that particular space.
Question is India's status as a pharmacy of the world. We all are very happy about it. India, saying that it's a testament to its ability to produce affordable, high quality generic medicines on a large scale. So to maintain and enhance this reputation, what strategic action should we take as an industry, and also maybe the policymakers also, because we all know the importance of this industry. Maybe uh, it was actually enhanced during the COVID time. So if you can just let us know about it.
So, pharma industry is a strategic industry for India. This is also a knowledge-driven industry. So it also gives a place of pride for this country. This is an industry where regulatory environment becomes important. And the very fact that we supply medicine to more than 200 countries around the world, we understand the regulatory environment. We understand the healthcare requirement of more than 200 countries around the world. So we can be really healthcare custodian of the world by further enlarging and strengthening this industry going forward as a nation. This can be a very important pillar for nation's growth. Uh, we have worked on the strategic plan for this industry, and the way we look at it is, at the moment, this industry is around $58 billion, and we earn around $19.5 billion in terms of foreign exchange. This can go to around $120 billion by 2030, and around $400 to $450 billion by 2047. To make that happen, it means it will earn around $40 to $50 billion foreign exchange by 2030, and around $200 billion foreign exchange by 2047. Now, to make that work, what is required to be done is we have to get focus on quality. We have to be a quality destination for the world. We have to be a quality benchmark for the world. So, since it is a healthcare industry, since it is a pharma industry, first is we have to make sure that we become the quality benchmark of the world. Point number one. Point number two is innovation is again very, very important. How do we leverage the innovation power of our talent going forward. And how do we build that climate where innovation is encouraged, innovation is built up as far as this industry is concerned? And the third is global reach. At this particular moment, yes, we supply medicines to Europe, we supply medicine to US. Can we further strengthen our presence? Japan? Can we further strengthen our presence in Latin America? Can we further strengthen our presence in China? So the three important areas going forward for this industry is quality, innovation, and global reach.
The government of India has waived of local clinical trials for certain drugs, which is already approved in well-regulated markets with USA, UK, Japan, Australia, Canada, and the EU also, in European Union also, under Rule 101 of the new Drug and Clinical Trial Rules 2019. So what is your take on it? How it's going to help us?
So, like say, some of the diseases, like they have specified the category of diseases where clinical trials will not be required. So, like say, orphan diseases, rare diseases.
Yes.
And they have also laid down clearly the countries where clinical trials have been undertaken. So the purpose is to improve the access of this medicine in this country and take out that burdensome cost of doing clinical trial. Because if the clinical trial has been done already in advanced countries, the quality of the product is assured, the drug is of high significance as far as this country is concerned. It is a welcome move for improving access, and it is in alignment with the regulatory simplification and regulatory ease of doing business, which is
Thanks a lot, Mr. Jain, for your time. It was really nice, talking to you on an auspicious day like Independence Day. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Prathiba. It's always a pleasure to talk to ETHealthworld. And I once again thank you to spread the message that this is an industry which is of strategic importance. And this is the area where India will like to play a fundamental role, being the healthcare custodian of the world, in line with our philosophy of Vasudev Kutumbakam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.